What's up guys, Andrew Baena here, and today I just wanted to do a quick vlog about some of my favorite announcements that I saw at this year's Winter NAMM 2018. There were obviously quite a few new exciting guitars, guitar modelers, amps, and all that good stuff that were announced this year. I'm not going to be going over all of them, I'm just going to pick a few of my favorites. And to start things off, I think we have to begin by, of course, talking about Jared Dines' ridiculous 18-string guitar that he's going to be using in the upcoming Gent 2018 video. So for those of you that may be unfamiliar with this story, basically Jared Dines does a video every year called Gent and then the year, so Gent 2017, Gent 2016, and the upcoming Gent 2018, for example. Now for last year's video, he actually had plans to do Gent 2017 with a 17-string guitar. However, unfortunately, he got scammed really badly. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard this story already, but just as a brief recap, basically what happened is he paid this huge scam artist named Olsen Guitar Works. I think his name is Nick Olsen, and he basically charged Jared like $1,000-ish to make him a custom 17-string guitar. And it turns out what actually happened is he straight up ordered a 17-string guitar off of a Chinese website called AliExpress, and he threw his logo on the headstock. So this guy actually bought a Chinese built guitar for, I think it was like $300, $200, and then he slapped a logo on it and tried to upsell it to Jared Dines for $1,000. I don't really know what the hell this guy was thinking. Obviously, Jared Dines is a pretty huge metal YouTuber, and there are a lot of people looking at this story, and the internet was very quick to realize what was going on. Apparently, Nick Olsen had a bunch of previous scams in the past that he was known for, so he got called out pretty hard. Jared Dines was obviously pretty pissed off, and he ended up smashing the guitar, which was honestly pretty hilarious. It's basically a skateboard at this point. So with that little recap out of the way, this year, Gent 2018 will feature an 18-string guitar, and this time his order was fulfilled by an actual reputable builder. There's a custom guitar shop out of Australia called Ormsby Guitars. You might have heard of them before. They're very well known for their hype guitar, which is kind of like a Black Machine-esque guitar. So Ormsby decided to hook Jared up with an 18-string guitar that is absolutely ridiculous, and apparently he does have plans to do more than one video with it, so I'm very excited to see what he comes up with this absolute beast of an instrument. So while we're on the topic of Ormsby, they announced their headless guitar a while ago, which is called the Goliath, but we saw a lot of new versions of that model at this year's NAMM. I'm a huge fan of headless guitars, no pun intended, and I think that Ormsby's design that they came up with is really cool. It's definitely more of like an aggressive body shape than most headless guitars. It's not like the typical kind of super strat with a cut off head and cut off ass end that we see quite commonly in headless designs. So I thought it was really cool the way they did it, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing those hit the market and maybe snatching up one when they show up used. I don't know, let's see. So the second company I want to talk about is Schecter Guitars. Now, as I've said in previous videos, I never used to be a fan of Schecter. I found their neck to be a little bit thick and kind of cumbersome, but luckily for me, I took a chance with them again, I think about a year ago with some of their newer models, and I was blown away. They have really improved since the last time I tried them a few years back, and the new guitars that they announced this year are absolutely insane. I think out of every builder that showed off something new, I was honestly the most excited for Schecter's new stuff. In particular, I was really interested in Schecter's Sun Valley Super Shredder line, which they have released those in the past, but this year they announced two new models which feature the Sustainiac pickups. Sustainiac basically means the notes sustain forever, which I think could be a very cool writing tool, especially for some really cool ambient leads. I've really been dying to try one out for a while. And then of course they had to go and announce a neon green version of the same thing, so I got very excited because neon green is obviously my thing. So the official model name of the new Sun Valley Super Shredder is the Sun Valley Super Shredder FRS in birch green finish. Here's a picture of what that looks like. I think it looks fantastic. It's just such a classic 80s shredder looking guitar. I really hope that I get to try one in the near future because I have been drooling over this picture since I first saw them announce it earlier this year. In addition to the Sun Valley Super Shredder, they also released two other new models that I thought were very interesting. The first of which is called the C7 Multiscale SLS Elite, which is basically their first production line fan fret instrument. It comes in a 7-string with Fishman Fluence pickups. It just looks so incredibly sexy. I've only heard good things about Fishman pickups, and I would be really interested in trying out this instrument. The whole thing, it just looks so good all pieced together. I love the finishes that they chose. I love the pickup options they chose. The scale lengths that they chose are perfect. It just looks like such a good instrument. I'm really looking forward to hopefully trying one of these out in the future as well. And the final model from Schecter that I wanted to talk about is way out of my price range, but it is incredibly sexy, and they are the Keith Merrow custom shop guitars, especially the one in the kind of blue to purple fade finish, which I'll show on screen right now. I've only heard good things about the Cam7. I've only very briefly tried them out at some local music stores, but those of course are the Korean versions, whereas these are the US made custom shop versions. They look really, really sexy, perfect finish, especially that blue one like I was saying. I've only ever heard good things about the USA custom shop Schecter guitars, and I'm sure that these are no exception. These things just look so awesome. But anyways, moving on, we're gonna talk about another company now. So the next company I wanna talk about is called PRS, Paul Reed Smith. I personally am not a fan of PRS guitars. They just don't feel right for me. But with that being said, I have always really, really appreciated PRS's designs. The way their guitars look is always, they just look so good. It makes me wish that I liked playing them, but unfortunately just, you know, for my play style and what I like to feel, they just don't work for me, and that's totally okay. Like I said, I can really, really appreciate their design choices. They always release insane custom shop builds. And they also announced a multi-scale 7-string guitar this year. I don't think that it's going to go into production. I think it's more of like a custom shop deal where you have to order it, and I'm sure it costs a lot of money. However, the one that they did have at NAMM looked incredibly sexy. It had this beautiful burl maple red finish and matching bird inlays and tuners. Is just very, very cool looking, and I hope to see them do more stuff like this in the future. The final company I want to talk about is Chapman Guitars. They've been doing stuff for a little while, and I'm always a huge fan of seeing other YouTubers do big things, especially when they're as successful as Chapman Guitars has been. They announced quite a few new models and finishes this year, especially the Unicorn Burst I thought was really cool on their more Korean-made guitars, or Indonesian-made guitars, I think. However, the thing that stood out to me the most was their British Standard line of guitars. So this is basically Chapman Guitars' custom shop range of guitars. They're all handmade in Britain. I just wanted to read a quote about these guitars from Chapman Guitars' official Instagram about the announcement, and that reads as follows: "Flying the flag for Chapman and England, this new line will be made one at a time by hand in extremely limited numbers. These are premium priced guitars that will look, sound, and play as good as anything you could imagine. With premium parts, beautiful woods, nitro finishes, and hours of attention to detail, the Chapman British Standard will be an instrument to be very proud of, and we hope you love them as much as we do." And then in addition to that, they posted a picture of this new line of guitars. In my opinion, obviously to no one's surprise, the green Explorer is really what caught my eye. That flame maple top with that green to black fade just looks absolutely gorgeous, especially with that natural binding along the edge there. Just looks like a really fantastic guitar. I doubt I'll ever be able to play one of these because they're going to be so rare, and also they're made in Britain and I'm in Canada, so I don't imagine that anyone in my area is going to be picking one of these up. However, if I do find anyone in the British Columbia area that has one, hey, you know, hit me up. Let's become best friends. So that'll do it for this vlog. If you were actually in attendance at the NAMM show, I would love to hear your comments if you played any of the guitars that I mentioned. Like I said, I wasn't actually at the event, so I'm basing all of this off of pictures and what I've read on online guitar forums. However, with that being said, I've only heard good things about these specific things that I've talked about, and I look forward to hopefully trying out as many of them as possible in person in the near future. So once again, let me know in the comments what you thought about this year's show. If there was any other models that you really liked that I didn't mention, anything at all, please let me know. I'd love to talk to you guys in the comments below. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please hit that subscribe button and notify button, and I will see you guys on my next video. Thank you so much.